variety of classes available. And actually just want to call out that many of them are for KP members at no cost, but we do have some classes available for non-Kaiser Permanente members as well. We have wellness coaching by phone. This is one of the most underutilized resources. In my opinion, it's such a great opportunity if you're needing additional support for setting health goals or sticking to those, creating boundaries for yourself. This is a great resource. Kaiser Permanente members have access at no cost and an unlimited amount of sessions, and you can work with a coach on so many different things. Like I said, it really depends on what you need support with, but some folks might call in and say, hey, I'm really trying to accomplish this goal. Like, can you help work with me to help set up the steps that I would need to take to be successful, and work with me throughout the process? And we hear really great outcomes from our members that work with a health coach. You can find more information linked here at the bottom. Healthy lifestyle programs are digital programs that are set up for our Kaiser Permanente members. You can find more information here. They're on a variety of topics. We have one on quitting tobacco, exercise, weight management, a handful of other topics. If you've taken the total health assessment before, which is Kaiser Permanente's health risk assessment tool, then you can get more information based on how you answer those questions to the healthy lifestyle programs available. I've linked the total health assessment here and the healthy lifestyle programs if you want to jump to that here below. And I'm just going to go through this. If folks have questions, please enter them in the chat, or at the end, there is, I think, hopefully a few minutes to go there. Food for Health is a wonderful spot on kp.org that has like a really big national recipe library and food blog. It's not just exclusive to Kaiser Permanente members. Anyone can access it. Oftentimes I'll go here to find new recipes throughout the seasons because it's updated seasonally. So a really fun place to go if you're looking for healthy things to make throughout the year. As spring approaches, I love to see, some of those recipes that utilize local farmers markets and, all our fresh fruits and vegetables. So this is an awesome place to bookmark. ClassPass is a resource that is targeted towards your fitness or physical health, and Kaiser Permanente members have access at no cost for this resource, and you can find more information at kp.org/exercise. We also have other member discounts available. CHP Active and Healthy is one that not many folks realize they have available to them, but Kaiser Permanente members have access, and there's just an unreal amount of resources. You can get discount to lift tickets in the winter, to movies, to travel, all sorts of good stuff. All you need to do is use your Kaiser Permanente login to get access, and I've linked that here. We also have Choose Healthy, which you can get discounts on, all sorts of other good stuff, gym memberships, and etc. This slide here is just wanted to make sure you have information as folks start to plan their travel for summer or late spring when the weather gets good, to get access as you're traveling as a Kaiser Permanente member. What does that look like? We have this phone number here to get 24/7 support while you're traveling. If you're a Kaiser member and you need that information, or you're going to be traveling and you have questions, a couple of years ago, we went to the Bahamas with our little one, and I wasn't sure if they needed any immunizations before we traveled. So it was a great resource to be able to call in and get those questions answered. So you can find more information at kp.org/travel as well. This is a really great way to show, how we're supporting mental health throughout the full spectrum here. And I know I'm already running short on time, but bear with me. So all the way from self-care to guided care to accessing primary care, specialty care, crisis care, and then emergency care, it will show you, as you can see here, phone numbers and links to more information for to better support your mental health needs. We know this is a huge priority across the board right now, but especially for schools and school staff. Which is why I wanted to make sure you're aware of a few apps. If you're a Kaiser Permanente member, you have access to Calm, My Strength, and Ginger at no cost. Calm is one of my favorite apps to utilize. I'll sometimes put meditations into my own presentations. And I'll also, they have sleep stories. I have a son that's 5 years old, and I didn't even realize that was embedded in that as a resource. So he loves the sleep stories. It's just great resource to have available. My Strength is also another resource there. And then I think I talked about ClassPass a few slides ago. Because mental health is so critical and important, this slide has kind of outlined many of the resources that are available to you as a Kaiser Permanente member. And a lot of these I've talked about already, but just to have it all on one slide linked for you to make it easy, I thought that that would be helpful. The one thing I did wanted to call out here is Find Your Words. You can access this whether you are a Kaiser member or if you are not a Kaiser member. It's Kaiser Permanente's kind of public health campaign we created a couple years ago, targeted to better support mental health. And there's resources, there's information, trying to break down the stigma. It's a great place to find information and to connect. Here's more information on how to get care if you're a Kaiser Permanente member and you're trying to schedule an appointment for mental health or addiction medicine. So all the phone numbers are here for you to find that information. I did come to the last Wellness Champion meeting and talk about the grants, but I thought for those of you who weren't here at the last meeting, I'll just quickly mention the grants are now available. The application period runs now through the end of April. They're dedicated to staff well-being. So to create wellness spaces within your school or your workplace. There's a video here that's only 2 minutes that talks about the video or the grants in a little more detail. Here's some 5 steps to get started. If you haven't heard of the grants, or if you have, we highly encourage you to apply. Like I said, the application period runs through the end of the month, and you can reference this page for more information. And this page, I've also linked our landing page where there's more information, guidelines, etc. Please reach out to me and my partner, Liz, if you have questions or need more information. Happy to help work with you and support. And then last but not least, I just wanted to mention Thriving Schools. Thriving Schools is Kaiser Permanente's additional arm to help support our schools and districts. You don't need to be a Kaiser Permanente member to access this information. Anyone can get these resources. It's absolutely fantastic. We have toolkits, we have roadmaps, we have all sorts of training modules available. You can access these resources linked here at the bottom. If you have questions, I'm happy to work with you and help support. The website also linked here. This is just what it looks like. It's a great place to poke around. You can enter in and search for different resources that you're looking for. The Action Center is also available to any schools and districts within Oregon. You do not need to be a Kaiser Permanente member, but we work with Healthier Generation to help support the Thriving Schools program. And this is what it looks like. If you go to the page, you can create a sign-in at no cost. This is what it looks like when you go to the resources section. You can find all sorts of things just by using the search function. It's a great resource available if you're looking for different guides or have questions. Highly recommend checking that out. Educational Theater is also another resource available to Kaiser, from Kaiser Permanente to schools and districts in the community. So you do not need to be a Kaiser Permanente member to get this resource, but you can find more information linked here at the bottom at kp.org/educational theater. I'm also happy to help connect dots or answer questions for you. Some of the workshops are targeted towards students, but we do have some targeted towards staff as well. And they're a lot of fun. I've been in a million of them, and they're really energizing and positive. And with that, sorry if I went through that fairly quickly, but does anyone have questions?
These slides are going to be posted on the OEBB webpage within this week for sure. So you'll definitely have access to them with all of the links and everything.
Yeah, thanks, Teresa. I did link quite a bit of the information so folks can poke around and look at it afterwards, but please let me know if you have any questions. I can put my email in the chat.
Thank you, Emmy. That was great. It's really really underscores how rich the benefits and the resources are with Kaiser. So thank you so much. And there's also a survey here that Emmy would like you to fill out, and you can do that while we move into the next agenda item. So Fancy from WebMD and Healthy You is here to talk about how to get employees and your colleagues engaged in wellness activities. This is a request that we hear from a lot of you frequently. So hopefully we've got some things here that will work. Go ahead, Fancy. You're on mute, Fancy.
Rookie mistake there. Thank you, Teresa. So I do want to make sure everybody has time to hear the success stories. And so you should see on your screen, I'll make it a little bit bigger. We'll make this handout available to you. We know it's the end of the year, towards the end of the year, towards the end of the semester. And so it might be a little bit more challenging to get your colleagues involved in any end of the year programming that you might have. So this is just 5 quick tips on how to get them excited about the things that you're doing, as far as like making it fun. Obviously, fun is a key word there. Making it easy to participate, making events accessible and visible. So you might have a really great event, but if nobody knows about it because of whatever communication, or there aren't a variety of communication methods, or just making sure that it meets everybody's a variety of interests and abilities and things like that. And in particular, also celebrating your colleagues. I have found that people like to hear what everybody else is doing. If somebody is willing to share, highlighting them in a newsletter or on a bulletin board. And I've seen that in some of your wellness programs and some of your newsletters of, people having some wellness accomplishments and recognizing them, or even, sharing their story, sharing their struggles, because you never know, who might be motivated by that. And then finally, getting feedback. So we are coming towards the end of the year. There's a lot of free survey tools, a lot of ways to get feedback. But, the beginning of the year is a good time. The end of the year is a good time to kind of see how people enjoy what they enjoyed, what they might not have enjoyed. But, making your colleagues feel like they're heard, their ideas are possibly getting put in place in the upcoming year. So, like I said, we'll have this handout available to you, and I'll turn it over back to Teresa.
Thank you, Fancy. Appreciate that. Some really good tips for getting folks engaged and excited about whatever wellness program you've got going on in your district or at your school. So today we're going to hear a success story from folks at Mount Hood Community College. We have Holly DeGrow and Josh Stratman here, who are faculty and teaching and learning center co-coordinators, who are going to present their success story titled Wellness for the Win. And I think Stephanie is going to manage the slides for them. So Holly and Josh, take it away.
You're on mute, Holly.
Yep. I see the mute sign. There, you're off mute,
There you
Holly.
Okay.
We can hear you. Yay.
Is that better? I keep getting impatient and clicking on it. So yeah, thank you so much for having us today. We're really excited to tell you about all the things that we did. We got 2 different opportunities. One was a Kaiser Wellness Grant, and it was from winter 2020. And if you can remember what happened in spring 2020, we got that grant and we had all these plans, and then COVID kind of shut down our campus pretty hard. So we had to put a lot of things on hold, modify a few things. But then, once we started coming back to campus at the end of spring last year, we finally got that fired back up with a lot more done on it at the beginning of this year in fall. The other money that we received was from OEA Choice Trust funding, and we got that in April of 2022, and we had to spend it by October, and we were gone all summer. So that was kind of like a mad rush of spending. So we wanted to acknowledge how thankful we were for both of those. Do you want to go to the next slide? There we go. So this is the old storage closet. This is what we converted to become our new wellness space. So it was pretty sour. It had yucky fluorescent lights and an abandoned ottoman. We don't know where it was from. You want to go to the next slide? And that's our new wellness space. So it's got like a yoga bolster, meditation pillow. It's got a little meditation area, some glowing crystal. It's got an iPad with yoga apps and wellness apps and loaded up onto it. There's a bigger monitor. If you want to go to the next slide, in the back of the room, there's a little area with TheraBands, yoga mats. Employees are welcome to come check these out or to use them in the space. And we decided to try to use our own expertise because we have a big faculty and they know a lot of things. So we had a yoga instructor already working at the college, and she is also a counselor. She volunteered to offer free yoga. So every Friday morning we do an online yoga session. But a lot of people are on campus on Friday mornings working, and especially support staff. They have a hard time finding a private space, so they often will go to that wellness area and use it to join in on the yoga. And then if you want to go to the next slide. The other wellness activities we did were through the OEA Choice Trust funding. And one of the first things we did was last spring, we are really close to Salish Ponds, which is sort of a wetland area. It definitely put the wet in wetlands on this day because it rained on us the whole time, but we enjoyed each other, and we have a biologist. He's a PhD and he's an avian specialist. So he pointed out all these different birds. We had a geologist. She came to talk about different rocks and rock formations. And then our natural resources technology specialist came to talk about trees and shrubs. And we got like a catered lunch, and we all sat out on the dock and got rained on. It was great. It was really fun. If you want to go to the next slide. This one's kind of a combo of a bunch of different stuff we did right at the end. We had a baby goat party. Those are real, where they will come bring some goats to you, and they're baby miniature goats, and they're the cutest thing ever. So we set that up in the middle of the quad, and all kinds of staff and students and the college president and everybody came out to pet baby goats and hang out. It was like one of the only things going on that was fun in the spring. So we really had fun there. And then over the summer, we were like, we got to use this money. So in fall, we hit it hard. We had on the bottom there, see those piles of books. We have an employee book club that we started, and we had a book giveaway at the same morning that we did the welcome back breakfast. We weren't sure if people would be ready to be inside yet, so we had the breakfast buffet out in the sort of breezeway of campus. People could help themselves and go in and play trivia. People were online playing trivia. And Josh, knocked himself out running around to all these different local businesses, getting gift certificates with the theme of the winners should take a colleague to lunch. So we had a bunch of $25 gift certificates to local restaurants in Gresham to try to help them come out of the pandemic as well. And then we also did sort of a big employee appreciation luncheon with more prizes. We asked people to give us suggestions of other events they would want to have during the year. And that was a big 100+ people came to that. It was catered by Elephant's Deli, and it was delicious. You want to go to the next slide? All right, I'll let Josh take over.
All right, thanks, Holly. So one of the things that we really wanted to push was wellness, obviously. And so we did one big event where we had a wellness week. And each day of the week, we had an event and we tried to focus on different dimensions of the wellness, of the 7 dimensions of wellness. For the social aspect, one of the things we did was a Halloween social and pizza party. So everybody got together on campus. We all dressed up, and I believe there's some pictures of it coming up. We dressed up and had a costume contest and a big pizza party to get everybody together. We did a survey of the campus, and everybody really wanted to have social events. So we tried to do a lot of social events. People were really wanting that. So another day we had a mental health checkup. We're introducing a new mental health screening tool here on campus. And so we went through that and we're able to do just a quick mental health checkup there. Bodies need motion. So this was a presentation that we put on about basic ergonomics in our classrooms and at our office spaces, and simple exercises that we can do to get moving while we're sitting here on Zoom or Teams. We also did a guided meditation. We have some of our part-time instructors here are very good yoga and meditation specialists. And so we brought them in and we did a short meditation session, and they talked to us. They kind of gave us some ideas of how we can do that in our office as well. We had a big open house, another social event. We had an open house of our wellness room. We wanted to kind of kick it off and show everybody, talk to them about how to reserve the room. So we had that. And then, like Dawn was saying, we have a Friday morning yoga. So every Friday we have yoga here on campus. Part of this wellness week, we were giving away raffle prizes. And so every event they went to, they could put their name in for a raffle prize. And part of these events that we had were the open lap swims, our applied cross training. So if they came in and worked out for the day or went swimming, they would get another ticket into our raffles. They could also use our weight room. So we tried to really hit as many dimensions of wellness as we could. Can you go to the next slide, please? And here is our employee costume. Holly and I there in the center as a rodeo clown and Cruella DeVille. So a lot of fun with all of these, and had some really good participation in all of our events. So I think this is the last slide. And yeah, again, just want to thank everybody for the generous grants that we got. And it made a huge impact coming back to campus. We had been online and off campus for so long. Having this opportunity for all the faculty and staff was really amazing.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was great.
Thank you, Josh and Holly. That's terrific. I love to see all the variety of different things that you've offered and really use some of those tips that Fancy talked about to get folks engaged, definitely making it fun. Fun and funny. You see those pictures. I put a quick question in there, if you wouldn't mind sharing the time. Oh, you put the answer in there. There we go. The organizational time. 10 to 20 hours it took for Wellness Week.
It's hard to estimate because Josh and I, our college really, I think, does it right in that they have the TLC is the Teaching and Learning Center, and that's an interior professional development organization. And so they give 2 faculty or staff members half time. So I'm teaching half time and Josh is only teaching half time, and the other half time we get devoted to that. And wellness is only one aspect of it. So we also do lots of other things. But that enabled us to really focus on wellness because we had the money for it.
Right.
And the desire, I think, on people's part to kind of come back to a workplace that incentivized showing up and being there with your colleagues.
So needed after the 2 years, 3 years of COVID and being separated. Yeah, really, really a great idea to find ways to bring folks together physically as much as possible. I love that. And the grants, just to be clear, the grants from Kaiser and from OEA Choice Trust, those don't pay for staff time. Those pay for the actual items and raffle prizes and gift certificates and things like that, correct?
That's correct. Yeah. So Mount Hood covers our staffing time. And we found that the Kaiser grant was very sort of concrete stuff oriented. You know what I mean? Like we used that to buy the monitor, to buy the iPad, to buy the yoga equipment, all the exercise equipment. And then the OEA Choice Trust funds were much more like incentive oriented. So putting those, it was accidental that we got both of those at one time, but having those to use together was great because we could, you know, have the wellness room open house and the yoga classes through the Kaiser, you know, and then incentivize Wellness Week and have the pizza and, you know, do all those aspects through the OEA money. So that it was a blessing to accidentally get both of those two things at one time.
Yeah, they definitely complemented one another. Are there other questions from folks here in the meeting for Holly and Josh or for any of the other presenters today? Oh, Rachel from OEA Choice Trust. She's clarifying that you can use up to 30% of grant funds to cover staff stipends for well-being work. So that's true for the OEA Choice Trust grants. Thank you for that, Rachel.
No problem. And yes, they are correct in that you can't just pay staff time to attend wellness events using grant funds, but you can help cover staff stipends and staff time for coordinators for helping to plan and implement those activities. But thanks so much for sharing that awesome work.
Are there any questions from other folks who are in the meeting for any of the presenters? Hopefully you got some people excited for what they may want to apply for funds for, some ideas for activities at their own schools. Yeah, seeing a lot of great ideas and amazing work, and kudos in the chat for you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, that closes the formal part of the meeting, but we always leave time for folks for networking, asking questions, posing challenges that you need some support with. And now is the time to do that. So for those of you who can stay on, please do. Fancy, Emmy, Christy, myself from the Planning Committee, Rachel from OEA Choice Trust is here. If you have any questions or need some extra support for our ideas for things you're working on,